Earlier this year, caddy Dave Musgrove passed away at the age of 74. He's best known for guiding a young Seve Ballesteros to his first Open victory. And he also won the claret jug and a green jacket with Sandy Lyle. In 2005, he featured in a documentary celebrating Seve's success at the Open, and we've revisited his interview to hear how he helped the Spaniard become a major champion.
I was caddying for Vicente Fernandez, and there's this young lad on the practice ground, long legs and a short body and lashing away. So I went and had a look, the name on the bag, you see. It says, is he in relation to Manuel? Yeah, it's his brother. I said, how old is he? I said, 17. Oh, well, that's it. Yeah, it's going to be good, everybody said. You know, they all said it's going to be good. It wasn't a fluid motion, it was a hit more than a swing. But it's what he did with it as well, you see. He thought he could do anything. Manuel said, why don't you caddy for him? He's playing well, you see. That was in the French Open at the 2K. And off we went in the Pro-Am and he birdied the first 4 holes. And the 5th hole he had a putt for a birdie which missed, and he went a bit mental. It's all right, only a pro. No, pro. If you'd caddy for Seve for any length of time and had success, you knew you could handle anybody. But it was very, very difficult. And it was no good saying you can't get over that bunker off the tee or anything like that. It's just a waste of breath, because you knew we were going to have a go. There's no communication before or after the round either. I mean, some people are Jekyll and Hyde from being off the golf course to going on it. And then they come off again and they're okay, but he wasn't. He was just intense all the time. From first you saw him till last he left.
When it bounced through the green, leaving him an awkward little chip back.
If he had a bad round in the morning, he used to go to bed, wouldn't eat, talk to anybody, just took a book, just went with a book and went to bed, and that was it for the day.
Seve and Dave arrived at Lytham for the 1979 Open with 9 European Tour wins working together. A second round 65 put Ballesteros firmly in contention for a first major title.
Now, the one man in golf today that you can expect perhaps sometimes to do anything extraordinary is young Severiano Ballesteros of Spain. And what he did here today, believe me, was quite extraordinary.
And he whips that 9-iron through from a very awkward spot. It's on line. Look at this one. Could it go in the hole? One hesitates to say vintage stuff at the age of 22, but my word, vintage stuff indeed. And he's gone birdie, birdie, par birdie over the last 4 holes.
He'd won 2 weeks before at the Belfry, and that's all he wanted to do, win.
Now can he get another one here at the 18th? He can indeed. Beautiful round of 65 today, 4 under par for the 2 rounds.
He wanted to win every week, it didn't matter what it was. And he always wanted to beat who was playing, whoever it was. He gave everybody the same respect. He wasn't overawed by anybody, but he just wanted to beat them, you see.
So this is how the scoreboard looks tonight, with Hale Irwin, the United States Open champion, leading the field by 2 strokes, despite that marvellous 65 today by Ballesteros. Ballesteros 4 under.
Seve had flirted with Open success 3 years earlier at Royal Birkdale, losing out to Johnny Miller. At Lytham, the Spaniard went toe-to-toe with the reigning US Open champion Hale Irwin, but off the course he was battling his nerves and a niggling injury.
He wasn't calm now. And he was also suffering with his back. He had to go to a manipulator or a chiropractor every day before he came to the course. And it was very cold for any time of the year, let alone July. So that didn't do him any good either. And didn't do much practicing, certainly not after the round. Well, there was nothing he couldn't do, you see. If he could see the ball and swing, that's all he had to do. Bunker shots, he was an incredible bunker player.
Just flicked up, played beautifully to within a couple of feet of the hole.
If it missed a green, he wanted the ball in the bunker because he knew he got a good chance of holding it or coming out stone dead. At the beginning of that year, I showed him a map of Lytham, because as you know, Lytham's got a lot of bunkers. And he noticed that straight away. He said, that's a good course for me because I'm the best out of the bunkers, you see. I am the best. And that week he proved it.
Seve's short game limited the damage on a tough third day. He shot a 3-over par round of 75, which saw him match Irwin to stay 2 shots behind the American. It would have been closer, but for this missed birdie putt on 18. A positive start to the final round was imperative for the Spaniard to come out on top.
The first hole was a par 3 at Lytham, so he was expecting a pretty long putt. He wasn't expecting, with it bouncing and running downwind, he wasn't expecting it to be close.
On the tee, Seve Ballesteros.
So he'd been putting on the putting green that length of putt he expected to have, which he got.
And a very nice, safe opening shot. Outside chance for a 2. And yes, what a beautiful way to start the final round.
Well, he made a 2 there. Irwin took 6 at the second, so that was the end of Irwin. And then the others, Crenshaw, Roger Davis, Aoki and Nicholas came into contention one by one, and he just said, it's the one with the biggest heart on the back nine that will win, and I have the biggest heart. So it could have been me.
The lessons learned from his narrow miss at Birkdale 3 years earlier gave Ballesteros the belief to play his typically aggressive game. As the final day wore on, he battled the wind and seized the initiative.
Oh, and the young matador is absolutely delighted. And why not? Against all the odds, he takes the outright lead yet again and can't wait to get to the next hole.
As he closed in on his first major title, the tee shot at the 16th provided a final test of Seve's championship credentials.
Oh, he gives it a tremendous clatter, and that's going miles to the right. Some 60 or 70 yards to the right of this fairway.
One that everybody knows about is the 16th hole. But he wanted to be on the right side because from the fairway, further left, was more downwind. Very difficult to stop on that 16. The pin wasn't all that far on. And so he wanted to be coming from the right, to be fighting the wind a bit, rather than having the wind straight behind, you see. So he hit it virtually where he wanted to, and it finished up perfect on a tractor path. And this tractor path joins the 2 fairways up, you see. But it was under a car where it finished. It wasn't all that far off the fairway, and about 50 yards from the front of the green. He did it exactly where he wanted to. Because even in the rough, he'd still have a better shot, a better chance, he thought, than coming from the fairway, of stopping the ball. So then he walked up to the green and saw where he wanted the ball to land, which is past the pin.
And it's a good one.
Which it did, and then he held it coming back for the 3. So.
And he only needs 1. Well, the golfing gods really are with the smiling Spaniard today. Well, well.
He always came as if he'd never won anything. We call it turning up with no money in your pocket. You've got to win because you can't afford to pay if you lose. And he came with that attitude, and you weren't even allowed to talk about the win the week before, whatever it was. Later on that year, he did say all in that putt on the 16th and won it for him. Then he knew he'd won.
After that decisive blow on 16, just 2 holes separated Seve from his first major win.
And the hole must be beginning to look as large as a bucket. The step is jaunty and speedy. There's still, though, 1 treacherous hole to go, the 72nd.
The 1979 Open produced one final iconic moment, as the crowd, enthused by Seve's endeavours, closed in to cheer on the champion-elect.
Well, that's the first signs of caution we've seen from the young man. He's played it out safely to the front of the green.
I don't know if he was ready for all the crowd coming in or not, but I was, and I just found the biggest policeman possible and said, get me through, you see. Because I was expecting it. Any champion, the bull has got to run for them, hasn't it? But he was the only man to finish under par. And I tell you, it was, as you know, it was a tough course, and it was cold and windy.
Yes, there it is. 1 under par, 283, and a remarkable victory.
We went back to the house where they were staying, and we all sat around watching the replay that night.
Oh, and the young matador is absolutely delighted.
And he was sitting right at front. Look what I've done there, look what I've done here, and, you know. So that was good fun. I was in bed for a week, sleeping it off. And then people said about how much money did you get paid and that, you see. And I said, well, I'll tell you something. In the whole of the 10 days we were there, the only money that changed hands was I lent him a £5, which is true.
Champion golfer of the year, Seve Ballesteros.
Seve and Dave Musgrove are no longer with us, but the story of that remarkable Open lives on.